We love bomb flies. This one is about as heavy as you can pack it in on a size 14. You got to check it out, the Hare bomb.
5, 4.
All right, we already did a Hare bomb fly. And so this is Croston's Hare bomb. It's actually a super cool fly because it uses one of these super big gnarly tungsten jig backs. Now if you want to get your fly down, that is the answer. They're just a little bit quirky to tie with, but we have some tricks that might make you say fewer bad words. So we're going to attach this to the hook. What I'm going to do is just put a little bit of super glue here, and that's just kind of a temporary thing for now so that I can get my thread attached. But anyway, put a little bit of super glue, and I will put that bead on, or the body on, so that it hangs maybe so that the edge of it is even with the eye of the hook. Lots of different ways you can attach those as far as sizing and space, but that's a pretty good mix right there. Now when I add my thread to this, I'm going to want to hold it in place and just use really light wraps and maybe move my thread around a little bit so that it kind of lashes everything down. If you really crank on your thread right now, it's just going to make this want to twist around the hook. So just use real light thread for now, and then I'll add maybe some more turns. And now I'm just going to bathe the whole thing in super glue. So there are a few things for that. It will reinforce this so that it won't slide on the body, but also your thread needs something to grab onto when it's going down this little slope right here. If you don't use super glue, your thread just wants to slide down, and I'm probably going to have my thread slide down a fair bit. So I'm just going to come back here and really light wraps. I'm just going to touch those threads together and just dress it as best I can. I'm going to unwind my thread so that it lays flat. So down to here would be ideal. You see, it didn't even slip too much on me. So I'm going to use Coq de Leon for this one. The Foaling Mill one calls for partridge for the tail, but I'm just going to throw Coq de Leon down. I think it's maybe a little bit more durable. And I've got some good Coq de Leon here. Alright, so I'm just going to tie that in right where that body terminates. Maybe a little shorter. Just like that. It'll angle down just a little bit. And I'll take my thread up here where that super glue is and just kind of wind that forward just like that. So trim that Coq de Leon off, and this has got a really fine copper wire through it. So you could use a little bit thicker copper wire for sure, but I'm just kind of keeping true to the pattern. It adds just a little bit of flash to that plain hare's ear that's going to be in the body. But I'm just going to take a piece of 0.1 millimeter wire. I need to add a little bit more super glue because it's starting to slip. Got some feathers that are renegades. See, that's the slipping that I told you about. Alright, so there we're tied in. Now, if I were just to use normal dubbing techniques on this, the dubbing would get really bulky, so I want to keep it as fine as possible. So I'm going to use just regular hare's ear dubbing. The dogs are barking, but I'm going to keep rolling. I'm going to take this time. The dogs reminded me, stop what you're doing and go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do it right now. I'm not going to let you watch the rest of this until you do it. My hand will stay here until you have subscribed. Okay, that's enough time. You need to subscribe to our channel. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly dub in some dubbing. It's going to get a lot tighter once I close the loop and tighten it up. But you're going to need a longer dubbing noodle than you think. And it doesn't have to be super tight, because it's gonna be tightened up a little bit. Okay, so that's like 6 to 8 inches long. All right, so I'll close off this loop. Put too much juice on that one. All right. Right there. And then I'll just twist this all up. Alright, that's plenty twisted. And I'm just going to use the rotary feature on my vise. By the way, it's the Purple Popsicle Rin City Master, number 4, if you ask. And I'm just going to use that Purple Popsicle feature and wrap that all the way up the body. So as you can see, it kind of keeps the shape of that tungsten body without adding a ton of bulk. Alright. So that's how we want to be looking right there. We'll take this copper wire and wrap that through the dubbing. Kind of loose-ish turns. Don't tell Curtis, but these are his scissors. I'm just going to cut that wire with these. Boom. Alright. Now there's a little bit of like a dark patch of dubbing. You can use like dark hare's ear, you can use black rabbit, you can use whatever you want, but you just want to give it a little bit of a transition color. So it's just going to look like that, like a little band of black. And then I'll build up a little bit of a hot spot right in the front with red. Or this is fluorescent red or fluorescent fire orange, whatever your manufacturer calls it. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's the Hare bomb. Super simple fly that is going to get your rig down pretty fast.